Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the SOULKATION podcast. My name is Logan Renee. I'm your host. And this podcast is all about how do you create consistent freedom, purpose, peace, and self-love in your daily life. Today, we're going to talk about clues that he's just not that into you. Child. Now, this one is going to be a little turnt, but it needs to be talked about. It's not something that we learned at school. I think a lot of us have to learn this by trial and error and, based on how we grew up or who we didn't grow up with, if there were men in the home or if they weren't. Here's just a couple clues that he may not be that into you. Number one, you have to be a secret. So let's say, and this may not be your thing, but for a lot of women, it is their thing. So for social media, let's say you post him every day or you post him often. And every time you tag him in a post, he hides it on his wall or deletes it, or he never puts it up. He puts up everything else. For some women, it does not matter. So for you all, don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. If it does not matter to you, if he posts you on his social media or not, then don't talk about it. Don't make somebody else's issue your issue. But if it bothers you, you definitely should have a conversation about it. Like, hey, I'm posting you all the time. You never post me. We've been together 4 years. I'm starting to wonder, do you not think that, we're going to be together long? Like, what's your thinking? Don't even give him any suggestions of what he might be thinking. Let him tell you what he's thinking. But if you have to be a secret, he may not be that into you. Number two, if you have to constantly be the man, if you got to be the man in a relationship, then he not that into you. It's a show on OWN called Ready to Love. And it's like the Black elite that are doing super well, but they're single. And it was one girl on there, she got the flip tips for days, honey, body snatched on point. And I think she had like 2 or 3 kids. And she says to one of the guys, she was like, I had to ask you out on a date. And I feel like I'm the one that does most of the calling and most of the texting. When you hear those words coming out your mouth, he's not that into you, because anything that a man truly wants, he goes after. He doesn't have to be manipulated to go after it, controlled to go after it, lied to go after it. If he really wants to go after something, he's going to initiate it. And if you're the initiator, just step back and see what happens. Stop texting as much. Stop calling as much. And it's not to play games. It's to not play the fool. Either you're going to play the fool or you're going to be aware of what's going on in your relationship or situationship. Just stop, take a step back, see if he really is interested. And if he shows that he's interested, continue talking to him. But if you have to play the role of the man, you're doing everything that a man is supposed to do or a man likes to do, which is initiate stuff. Step back and see what happens. Number 3, you have to drive and fly to see him. You put in all the effort and all the work in the relationship. If it wasn't for you, y'all probably wouldn't even talk as much. Your heart and your sacrifices carry the relationship. What I mean by that is you have changed everything about your schedule, everything about your routine. What time you pick up your kids, when or where you go see your friends, your gym schedule, what time you eat. You need to be showered and shaved by 6 p.m. because that's when he's going to call, So your whole schedule has adjusted. He still goes to the gym at the same time. He play ball at the same time. He go play golf at the same time. There's nothing about his life that has changed or adjusted, child. But everything in your life has. You've arranged your schedule to fit all his time. You canceled on your family members. You canceled with your friends just because he's arranged something. So you've arranged something, And here's the thing. You should never feel like you're consistently losing. Like there's not much that you're gaining, or you're the person that's only sacrificing or having to give up something. Like every holiday we spend it with your family. Like I like my family too. You know what I'm saying? Carol Dweck said something that was really good. She said, you should never feel like you've betrayed yourself. You should never feel like you've betrayed yourself. And in a lot of situations, we will just to appease. Number 4, ghosting. Child, if this ain't the ghosting generation of all generations, I didn't know what ghosting was till I moved to California, because I guess that's the game that they play here. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will literally go off the, like disappear from Earth. Like, how, Sway? Like, if he dips in and out of your life, you know, and he comes back with an excuse saying stuff like, you know, I need time to figure myself out. I'm sad because my auntie ain't called me for my birthday. You know, my little cousin took my shoes, so I just stopped talking to people because I don't trust people because, you know, my cousin stole from me. You know, I have a new job and I'm having a hard time, or, you know, I started moving, so everything is crazy. It's like excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And it's funny, as women, if our friend girl comes and tell us all these things that I just gave as an example, immediately we would say, girl, he's lying to you, he's playing you. But when we're sitting in the seat and somebody's saying these crazy things to us, we'll be like, I think it's really happening. You know what I'm saying? I really do think, you know, his dog ran away and he's sad about it. Sway, he didn't have a dog. Like, it's like we believe foolishness, but as soon as our friend girls come and tell us the same exact story or something crazy that's similar, we like, girl, he lying. Like, we should have that same type of fire when it comes to stuff that we hear. You know, a lot of times we put this little cute filter. Take that filter off, child. Wake up. When it comes to foolishness, we believe too much of it. Something that TD Jake said that was good. When someone walks out your life, let them. Don't be sad. You know, let them. And that means not allowing them to come back and forth with these excuses. Like, no. Number 5, he doesn't respect you. And this is huge, you know, cutting you off when you're talking about something. You know, he thinks what he has to say is more important than you. As much as respect as you show him is not reciprocated. He's saying disrespectful things in front of your friends. I've been, you know, on couples nights and, you know, we playing Taboo and the guy is just going in, you know, on his fiance. I was so uncomfortable, y'all. I was so uncomfortable. And he just, man, you stupid. You always get stuff wrong. I'm like, girl, this how he be talking to you now? Like, this really how he just be talking to you and you're okay with it? Interesting. You know, just calling you out of your name, all type of stuff. All of those things play on your self-esteem. Even if in that moment you like, whatever, he playing, I ignore him. I'm telling you, stuff sits on our hearts as women. Stuff resides in our soul. Stuff takes resident, okay, in how we see ourselves. And it's the little things. It's not what he says, you know, that's really sweet. It's those really toxic things that just sit in us, and we start replaying that stuff in our mind. So we have to be very careful. Number 6, he tries to get over on you. He tries to get over on you. Miles Monroe said, if you are only focusing on your needs, then the relationship is in trouble. If you are only focusing on your needs, then relationship is in trouble. So let's say y'all agree, you know, to split stuff. You know, y'all in a relationship for a minute and whatever. And y'all decide to split stuff. You know, y'all been in a relationship for a while. Okay. This is not for people that just got together last week and they talking about some splitting bills. Houseway. So every time you look up, he want to go get you Popeyes. You know, he got y'all dinner this time. But then when it's time for you to pay for it, he wants steaks falling from heaven and a person that feeds him and a chef that comes by, and you, like, he wants you to swipe your card for $100 plus, $50 plus. But when you buy dinner or coffee or whatever, it's a coin. You know, to me, like, he's really trying to get over on you. Like, I'm going to do the bare minimum, but I want you to go over and beyond for me. You know, why do I have a steak coming from heaven for you? He's trying to get over. Trying to get over, as the people in New Orleans would say. Number 7, he tells you whatever you need to hear so y'all can keep talking. You know, as soon as I get this refund, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to put a little bit on the rent. Or, you know, I've never felt this way about anyone. Never. You're the first one. Well, if I'm the first one at this age, that's really not that good. Okay. Or I love you. That's the worst And the best 3 words ever. Because sometimes it's the truth, and then sometimes it's a trap, just to keep you around. Every woman loves to be told, I love you, child. Everybody love it. But love is all about action. And they have to be consistently, words and action got to date. They got to be in a strong covenant for it to be true. And there's no way, and I think a problem with us as women is we pass out trust super, super fast. And the only way trust can be built, as Kevin Eastman says, is time and consistency. Time and consistency. Time and consistency. You cannot rush trust. You cannot rush getting to know someone for real. My grandma was married for 50 plus years, and she said, that stuff about me, your granddaddy didn't know, and that stuff about him, I still don't know. And we were married 50 plus years, but it takes time and it takes consistency, for trust to actually be built. And I think we pass it out real quick as women. And that's kind of on us. Number 8, it's always your fault. Every situation, every problem, every issue, in all the conversations, you're the one that's wrong. You don't take responsibility for nothing. You by yourself apologizing a lot, okay? That's a clue that he's not that into you. He don't take responsibility for nothing. You are the reason y'all are always late. You are the reason he cheated while you were pregnant. You're the reason, because, you didn't give him enough attention. I remember watching, is it Marriage in Huntsville? And Martell says to Melanie, you didn't thank me enough. Give me some credit for where you are. And it's like, yo, this girl, 9 times out of 9 would have been just as phenomenal without you, sir. If anything, she probably helped you out. So are you saying you're responsible for her gift? Are you saying that you're responsible for her anointing? Come on, dog. Don't do that. But if he starts to blame you for every situation, this is a good example. So let's say he's like, I'm not a planner, let's just go with the flow. So you end up saying, okay, don't worry about pre-planning anything. We'll just go with the flow. And then it's Thursday night and you want to go see a movie on Friday night. And you go tell him, hey, I want to go see this movie Friday. And he's like, man, why you didn't tell me earlier? I already got plans. Sir, you said so you planning now? Is that what we're doing? You said you didn't like the pre-plan. But he finds his way to get out of every situation. Like he just dips in and out. And he uses blame. He casts blame on you. So then you end up feeling like, is it my fault? Was it me? But it's really because he's really not that into you. Let's do a real quick recap. Number 1 is you have to be a secret. Number 2 is you have to constantly be the man. You're leading a relationship. You're initiating everything. You're readjusting your life, your schedule. You got to drive to see him, fly to see him. I mean, your debit card, child, got miles on it, okay? Your gym schedule didn't change. When you eat changed. When you hang out with your family members and friends have changed. Also, ghosting is a sign that he's not that into you. He makes up excuses, and it's always something. Last week, his dog died. 2 months ago, his sister didn't call him back. Child, every time he just dodging excuses, honey. Another one is he doesn't respect you. And a great sign of this is watching how he treats his mom. There are some men that did not have relationships with their mom. So for those, you got to watch that too, because especially if there's a hatred for his mom, that's something he's going to have to heal, because that's definitely going to flow into the relationship. But for the men that really love and respect their mom, if they're not talking about their mom super crazy, that's an indication of how he's going to treat you. But if he acting crazy about his mama, he definitely not respect you, Sway. If he tries to get over on you, any way that he can malign or, get out of doing something, but he expects that of you, he's probably not that into you. If he tells you whatever you need to hear, I love you, your ankles finally look good, I'm happy that you lost the weight, nothing that you do is ever good enough, but at the same time, he's going to tell you just enough just to keep you around. And it's always your fault. He takes responsibility for nothing, child. These are all signs that he might not be that into you and things to look out for. If, as my auntie Ayanla Van Zant would say all the time, if you're okay with these things, then stay. If you don't like them, then they're worth changing. You're worth sticking up for yourself because you're the only person that's in a relationship that should have your best interests at heart at all times, should have your soul in mind, should have your self-esteem, in the forefront. Because what you're trying to do in every relationship, friendship, partnership is maintain your most authentic self. And if you feel like you're losing yourself, that's something that you should be like, okay, I done took 15 steps away from who I really am. And that's a problem for me. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the SOULKATION podcast. Please make sure you rate this show on all the podcast apps and give me 5 stars and also leave a review. Let me know what you think, what you've learned. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the like. And everybody on each platform, make sure you share this video and this episode with your friends because I'm pretty sure it's some stuff they would like to hear. I will catch you all on the next episode of the SOULKATION podcast. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.